Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hello English podcast for beginners. I'm Helen, and I'm really happy you're here with us today. It always feels special to spend this time together, like we're sitting together in a quiet, cozy room, taking a moment to breathe and learn something new.
And I'm John. I feel the same, Helen. Every time we start recording, I imagine our listeners joining us from all kinds of places, walking outside, sitting on a bus, having a cup of tea at home. It's wonderful to know we're learning English together.
Today, we have a gentle and very human topic: dating. Meeting someone new, getting to know a person, feeling interest, maybe feeling excitement, or sometimes uncertainty. Dating can be light and fun, or calm and slow, but it's always full of feelings and small stories.
And before we begin, we'd like to ask you, please subscribe to the podcast, give us a like, and leave a comment telling us what topics you want next. Your support really helps our podcast grow, and it means a lot to us.
So, John, before we go into today's vocabulary, I wanted to share something personal. I think it's important because it connects naturally with our topic. A little while ago, I went through a change in my life. I ended a relationship. Or maybe it's more accurate to say that we ended it. It was a mutual decision. There was no anger, no drama, no heavy words, just a conversation where we realized that our paths were moving in different directions.
That sounds like it took a lot of honesty, Helen, and probably a lot of calm thinking.
Yes, exactly. It wasn't a situation where one person was wrong. It was simply two people standing at the same moment with different needs. And once we understood that, the decision became clear. Still, even when it's peaceful, ending a chapter of your life takes emotional energy. You think about the memories, the conversations, the hopes you once had together.
It's true. Even in the most respectful situations, endings carry a feeling of softness mixed with sadness. But there's also something else, a sense of new space opening.
That's exactly what I felt. After a few days, when everything settled, I noticed this new space inside me. Space to breathe, space to take better care of myself, space to enjoy quiet mornings, long walks, and simple routines. And little by little, I started thinking about the future again. Not rushing into anything, not jumping into meeting new people immediately, but feeling curious about what might come next.
That curiosity is natural, and it's actually a very healthy sign. You're reconnecting with yourself, and from that place, you can meet others more honestly.
Yes, and that's one reason why I wanted us to talk about dating today. Not dating as a stressful thing, not dating as pressure, but dating as one of the many ways we explore connection with ourselves and with others. And also because for many of our listeners, dating is one of the moments when they need English the most. Online dating apps, messages, talking to someone new, English shows up everywhere.
Absolutely. And it's important to have simple, friendly phrases ready, especially for beginners.
Yes. When I first started thinking about meeting someone new someday, I realized that even expressing simple things like, I enjoyed talking with you, or I'd like to meet for coffee, requires a little confidence. So today, I hope we can help our listeners build that confidence.
Let's begin with one of the most common phrases connected to dating. When a relationship ends, people often say, "We broke up." It's a simple way to say the relationship is over. But sometimes, when you want to keep it soft and gentle, you can say, "We decided to go our separate ways," which means the same but feels more peaceful.
Yes, and after a breakup, or after going our separate ways, sometimes you meet someone new. A very natural phrase for this is, I met someone. It doesn't mean anything serious. It just means there was a moment, a conversation, a small beginning.
Another common phrase is, "I'm seeing someone." That means you're dating, but casually. You're getting to know each other. It's not official or serious yet.
And then there's this cute, very common expression, I have a crush. When you like someone, maybe secretly, maybe just a little bit, maybe with a warm smile inside. It doesn't mean you're in love, just that you feel something nice.
Yes, a crush is that soft, light feeling. And sometimes, when two people meet and things feel easy, people say, "We clicked." This means the conversation flowed naturally, there was no tension, it felt like the two of you understood each other.
Or another phrase, we had chemistry. This means there was a natural attraction, a good energy between you. All of these expressions help tell small stories, and they sound very natural when English speakers talk about dating. Let's repeat a few phrases together. I'll say them slowly. You can repeat after me, wherever you are. We went our separate ways.
I met someone.
I'm seeing someone.
I have a crush.
We clicked.
We had chemistry.
Great. Repeating these small phrases helps them feel more natural in your own mouth, and that's how confidence grows. So, John, last weekend I met someone. It wasn't planned, it just happened. We started talking, and somehow we clicked. It felt easy.
That sounds sweet. Do you think you have a little crush?
Maybe. Maybe just a small one. But I'm taking things very slowly. I'm not rushing into anything.
That sounds like the perfect pace.
After the breakup, I felt very quiet inside. Not sad all the time, just thoughtful. And I wasn't thinking about dating at all. But you know how sometimes life surprises you? One day, I was in a small bookstore. You know that one I like? The one with the wooden chairs and soft music? And I noticed someone reading the same book I had in my hands. We made eye contact for a second, smiled, and that was it. Nothing big, just a small moment that felt light.
One of those moments when the world feels gentle.
Yes. A few days later, we saw each other again, by coincidence. This time, we actually talked. Very simple things at first. The book, the weather, coffee places nearby. But the conversation felt natural, like there was no pressure. It wasn't flirting, at least not in a strong way. It felt like two people just being open.
And that's usually how the nicest connections begin. Softly.
Exactly. At the end, he smiled and said, "It was nice talking to you. Maybe we'll run into each other again." And John, I felt something. Not a big thing, just a small spark. That tiny beginning of a crush, you know?
A warm spark is the perfect way to describe it. Something gentle, not overwhelming.
Yes. And from that moment, I realized I was open again. Not actively searching for someone, not using apps, not rushing, just open. Open to connection. Open to noticing people again. Open to letting something natural happen if the time is right.
That's one of the healthiest places to be after a breakup.
And I think a lot of our listeners might recognize that feeling. The moment when you realize your heart is ready for new conversations.
Since we're talking about early stages of dating, let's explore some more useful phrases.
Yes, one phrase I really like is, "We had a nice conversation." It's simple, but it means a lot. When you say this about someone you just met, it usually means the talk felt comfortable, easy, and pleasant.
Another one is, we connected. This is when you feel the person understands you, even if you just met. It doesn't mean you're in love, it just means there was a real sense of understanding.
Then there's a phrase many people use when they're not sure yet if things will develop. They say, "We'll see what happens." It's relaxed, it's gentle, it's open. It shows curiosity without pressure.
Exactly. And sometimes when you feel very comfortable around someone new, you can say, I felt at ease. This means your body and mind were relaxed. You didn't feel nervous. You didn't feel forced. This is a very positive sign in any early connection.
Yes. And another common phrase is, "He seems like a nice person," or "She seems really kind." These simple statements often appear in the first days or first messages.
And of course, when someone asks how something went, you can say, it went well, or it felt natural. These two expressions are very common when talking about early dates or first conversations.
And my favorite one, "There was a good vibe." It means the atmosphere felt right, the energy was positive, and there was no tension.
You know, John, what surprised me the most wasn't meeting someone, it was the way it made me feel. After the breakup, I thought I needed months before I could talk to someone new. But this little moment reminded me that the heart has its own timing. Yes, sometimes the heart knows before the mind does.
Exactly. And I think that's something important for our listeners too. Whether you are single, recently separated, or actively dating, the timing doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need a big plan. Sometimes a simple conversation can open a door.
And that door doesn't have to lead to a relationship. Sometimes it leads to friendship. Sometimes to self-discovery. Sometimes just to a nice memory.
Yes, dating is not only about finding someone, it's also about meeting different parts of yourself. John, after we talked last time, I thought more about that day. It wasn't just the conversation or the smile, it was how I felt afterwards. I noticed that I wasn't thinking about my past relationship anymore. I wasn't comparing, I wasn't analyzing, I was just present. I felt light. And that made me realize something important. Sometimes you don't need a big date to feel a connection. Sometimes you just need a moment.
That's beautiful, Helen, and true. But I'm curious, did anything happen after that? Did you see him again?
Actually, yes. A few days later, I went back to the same bookstore. Not because of him, I really wanted a new book. But when I walked in, he was there, sitting at a little table near the window. He looked up, smiled, and waved gently. I felt my heart beat a little faster, just a little, and I walked over.
All right, now I'm officially invested. What happened next?
We talked again, this time longer. We talked about music, about travel, about simple things. And again, it felt easy. There was no pressure, no expectation. At one moment, he said, "I enjoy talking with you. You make me feel comfortable." And that touched me because it was exactly how I felt too.
Those are rare moments when two people feel the same thing at the same time.
Yes, and when I left, I felt something warm in my chest. Not love, not anything big, just a quiet, meaningful interest. When I got home, I found myself smiling without thinking, and that's when I knew maybe it's time to let life surprise me again.
This is a perfect moment to explore a few more expressions connected to dating, especially early-stage dating.
Yes, one expression I really like is "I enjoyed talking with him" or her. This is something people say after a good conversation. It doesn't promise anything, it just expresses a warm feeling.
Another useful phrase is, "We had good energy." It's similar to good chemistry, but softer, more emotional.
Then there's a phrase that appears a lot in early dating. "I'm interested, but I want to take things slowly." This shows that you like the person, but you're not ready for anything fast or intense.
A similar one is, "I'm open to getting to know him." It's calm, respectful, and honest.
Another important phrase is "I'm not rushing." This is something I used a lot. It means you're allowing things to grow naturally.
And here's a very helpful one, especially if you don't want to make big promises. Let's take it step by step. It's gentle and very common.
Finally, there's one more expression I love. "I'm listening to my feelings." It means you're paying attention to your emotions and letting them guide you.
You know, Helen, I think your story is important for our listeners, not because it's romantic, but because it's real. Dating isn't always fireworks and big gestures. Often, it's small moments, soft smiles, gentle curiosity.
Yes, and it's also about healing and reconnecting with your own heart. For me, meeting this person didn't replace anything. It didn't try to fix anything. It simply reminded me that connection is still possible, that my heart is still open even after a quiet ending.
And that's beautiful. It shows that connection can begin anywhere: a bookstore, a cafe, a conversation on a bus.
Exactly. And I hope our listeners feel encouraged too. not necessarily to date, but to stay open to small moments of connection in their lives.
In today's episode, we explored dating through Helen's gentle personal story, moving from an ending to a new beginning.
We practiced natural expressions like, I have a crush, we connected, there was a good vibe, I'm open to getting to know him, and let's take it step by step.
And we acted out little scenes so you can hear how these phrases sound in real life.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us. I hope this episode made you feel warm, hopeful, and confident about expressing your feelings in English.
And remember, learning a language is also about understanding yourself. Every new word helps you describe your world more clearly.
Please subscribe to the podcast, give us a like, and leave a comment telling us what topic you want next. Your support truly helps our little podcast grow.
Take care of yourselves. Be gentle with your heart. And remember, new beginnings can appear in the quietest moments.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye for now.